that one.
Okay. Yeah, we actually got to go up there and take some pictures. So that's the first time I've ever been there. It's pretty.
I hope they got pants on.
It used to be a little town where they had one of the great hardware stores ever, but there was a grocery store, pharmacy, gas stations. Now there's not a thing you need in life that you can buy there. It's all t-shirts and sandals and beer.
It's kind of how changing with the times, I guess.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, concrete years and took care of all the equipment.
JC,
Hi.
Hi,
thanks
Ted.
for coming to the meeting last night. You represented Parks and Recreation well.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no problem. I was happy to be there.
Okay, we are live.
Okay, do we have quorum, Laurel?
I have to have at least 6. I see 5. Is anyone off screen right now? Melinda?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Ty.
There's-
Kyle's here. Okay, I think we got everybody. If anyone else joins, then it's just padding.
Okay, great. Well, I'm going to call this meeting to order. And for now, there's so many on us on video. I'm going to skip the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'm in my truck. Could we have a roll call?
Mr. Behrens?
Here.
Mr. Christensen is absent excused. Mr. Frericks? Ms. Lautner?
Present?
Mr. Noonan?
Here.
Mr. Popa? I did not reach John. Mr. Travis?
Here.
Mr. Walter is absent excused. Mr. Wessel?
Here.
And Mr. Yeomans?
I'm there.
Okay.
All right. Is there any public comment?
If anyone would like to comment publicly, they are asked to call the phone number 231-256-8109. There's like a 10-second lag.
Okay, we'll give them a minute or so here to call in.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to add another set of minutes as well.
Okay.
There's a special session for the same date, and I forgot about that one.
Okay, I don't hear any public comment. Moving on to the agenda. The only addition I have is what the minutes that Laurel just talked about, the special session from June 17th. Are there any other items that need to be added or deleted? I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I move that we approve the agenda as amended.
Support.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? We have an agenda. Okay, moving on to the action items, approval of the minutes.
To approve the regular session minutes of June 17, 2020.
A second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to the special session minutes from June 17th.
I move to approve the special session minutes of June 17.
Support. Okay, motion by Ty, second by Kyle Travis. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to approval of financial reports. Scott, do you have anything to add?
We're at 28%.
Scott, talk right into this.
We're at 28% of our budget. The only major thing we had was just some tree work at Old Settlers for spraying of the beech trees. That was 1,700.
Okay.
That's the only really huge thing that stands out.
Have you gotten with Deering's about the trail cleanup at Miles?
Have I gotten what?
With Deering's about the trail cleanup at Miles?
I'm in the midst of writing a proposal to go out
Okay.
for bid. I'd like to talk about that later, though. So,
Okay, that's fine. Yep, sounds good.
okay.
Are there any other questions about the financial reports?
Pat, do you know how our 28% stands up to like a previous year at this time?
It's a little low. I mean, we've got a lot of money we need to spend.
Okay,
But we do have some projects coming up, so I shouldn't say we need to spend it, but
sure.
Yeah.
the grub shack and potentially the cleanup at Miles. The snow roller for grooming, that's about 1,500.
Any other questions for Scott? Can we get a motion to approve the financial reports?
Motion to approve the financial report?
Second?
Motion by Ty, second by Dave. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Financials are approved. Okay, moving on to committee reports. We'll start with Miles Kimmerly.
We did not have a meeting, but I did go walk after hearing about the trail and people being confused as to where it was, and I would concur. I'd like to hear what Scott's got to say, but my one thought is something that we could do cheap and maybe this year is just like a lot of trails, getting some of those, however we want to do it, tag the trees or marker arrows and lay out clearly the path maybe after the cleanup happens. But I ran into some disc golfers because I was walking all over their course and they really had no idea where the trail was. And I mean, I found sections of it, but it was pretty confusing. So it may really, after we clean it up, to badge it or do some sort of minimal signage may really help. So
That
Go ahead, Ty.
That would be a nice thing for the Miles Kimmerly committee to come out there and for the trails and erect the signs. I'm on for that.
all right, well, that's kind of what I was looking for. I think maybe I'll get with Scott further and see how he thinks it should work, and maybe we can either figure out if we're going to paint or buy some tags, and the committee can go out there and help Scott do the work or do the work.
Good.
That sounds good.
Okay.
And Scott, what did you have to say about the cleanup?
Well, I've got a whole list of complaints from people that wrote some letters to me or to the commission. I forwarded them to you, Casey. Just people wanting it cleaned up. There's been several incidents of people getting hurt, including myself. You know, that's what I was doing when I had my accident. It's just a mess out there. And it's beyond my scope to clean it up.
Sure.
We gotta get professional help in there. It needs to be done immediately.
Okay. And did you talk to Deering's about it and they gave you an idea what it would cost, or Are we just going straight out for bids with,
No, because I had to, put together a bigger plan, things just evolved, and then
okay,
Josh, once you get it all together, we'll just go out for bids and we'll bid on it.
okay, I got you.
Did they sound interesting?
Scott, if we're going out for bids and we have some money, what's the thought about maybe even extending it a little bit?
I didn't catch that, Kyle. Kyle, could you repeat that?
Would it be reasonable to maybe even see about a bid on extending the trail a little bit?
Well, there is a trail in the back that we would be extending.
Okay.
Calling it an emergency trail, but, everybody could walk it. It's through some nice woods all the way in the back. So.
Okay. And that's, I think it's really nice, but yeah, as it is right now, you don't know where you're supposed to be. You don't know where the trail's at. You don't. And I think if we cleaned it up and clarified what the trail was and maybe even made it, connected some other pieces, that sounds great.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a lot of trails on there that are undeveloped, that are old logging trails that could be cleared. I did get one bid. It was about $5,500. That was just for the emergency trail that I call it, and that's a trail that runs all the way back of the property. So.
Okay.
Did not include the disc golf course.
And Scott, will we be able to couple some of the money together from the maintenance budget and the capital outlay budget?
Yeah, I couldn't answer that. I would imagine you could consider it maintenance for some of it.
Yeah, just because if we're talking, it's going to be almost 30,000 for the grub shack, and then if we are successful with the grant, setting aside that 10,000, that leaves us at 35. So that only leaves us, between $5,000 and $7,000 to use. But I don't want to piecemeal it, is what I'm talking about. I want to make sure that we can get the whole thing done.
Right.
But I can look into that after we get the bid, just so that we know that we can do the whole thing and not have to do it.
Casey, maybe you and I could meet out at the park.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah, sometime like toward even the end of this week or first part of next would be great.
Sure, just give me a call.
Okay, that sounds good. Is there anything else for Miles Kimberly?
Nope.
Okay, moving on to Old Settlers. The grub shack, we're making headway, getting started on it anyway. We're getting close to getting started on it. We had to apply for a soil erosion permit, which Steve's working on, and then once we have that in hand, we'll get the land use permit, Jamie will get the land use permit, and he's planning on getting rolling on it sometime late September.
Casey, this is Melinda.
Yes.
I'm coming in. I've had bad internet today, so I would have nothing else to report to Old Settlers. We have not met. The only thing I would like to see us do, maybe we do have to have a short meeting over there pretty soon. But maybe discuss if there's any money left at all, possibly to do another piece of playground equipment. That would be the only thing I would have to report.
Okay, that sounds great. Okay, moving on to Veronica Valley.
We did meet last week, though, mostly for me to bring the other members up to speed on what I'm going to share with you right now. Last week, we had our third, our third chemical treatment of the fishing ponds at Veronica. The 3 are included in that. in the contract that we signed in the spring. You know, as far as I know, things have gone well. They look good. We seem to have benefited from some of the spray on the algae. There were algae blooms floating in the water, and we did not specifically put in an algicide, but we seem to have benefited from some of that chemistry, and it looks good right now. A main part of what we talked about at our meeting is that at our next meeting, the full commission, and Casey, this is coming to you new as chairman, but at our next full meeting, we will be meeting, the Veronica Valley Committee will meet the 1 hour prior to our full commission meeting. That 1 hour will be spent with Savin Lake Services, looking at what our options are for ongoing maintenance of the fishing pond. It's not a one-off deal to take care of this invasive species. It's going to take a thought about how do we do this some every single year and try to make that minimal, cheapest, and most efficient overall. So I hope I'll communicate with you more, Casey, but I hope to have then our recommendation, maybe even the Savin Lake Services guy hanging out for our full commission meeting next month via Zoom, so that he could answer questions. But that's where we're going in terms of any major direction. Now, we had Bill Watson's Youth Works crews out there on the 2% monies from the tribe. They took care of about 90% of all the autumn olive. And we were on the edge of getting overtaken, especially on what I call the backside of the park. It would have gotten away from us pretty quick if we hadn't gotten at these things. Not all of it got painted with herbicide. I don't know quite the story on that, but we got a lot of it down. We got some control going on. That'll have to be looked at. Bill Watson has expressed that he believes he can find other monies to help us out with continued work on those things on the land in terms of invasives. Seems like I had one more big thing. Oh, this I didn't think of till we got started, because it was now 6-8 weeks ago, and this is just related to all of us. Steve Christensen and I made a decision, because we had to move kind of quickly on our standard Parks Commission or County Parks ad in the fall color guide of the Enterprise. We said yes, looked at we're using the same ad. It looks fine. The language is good. I did ask, all the trees in the color guide in our pictures are green. So they were going to look see if they had any fall color picture of the park or something to go, whatever. But we got in with the 5% discount or something like that, because we said go with this early. So that's been done.
Great.
And I guess that's the main thing right there. It seems like I had one other thing on my mind. But those are the two major steps we're at right now, and then looking ahead at how we might manage the pond weeds, and that'll start taking up our time as we get into this next month.
Sure. Well, great. I'm looking forward to hearing about the weeds, the weed control.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to the Leelanau County Parks Regulation Ordinance. Laurel, you said that's forwarded on to legal counsel?
Yeah, shortly after the Veronica Valley Park Committee had met, they had talked about this ordinance, which goes back to the early 1970s. And at that point, I suggested we have council review it and have them make suggestions on any kind of updating. And right now it's at council.
Okay, great.
Casey,
Yes, go ahead, Melinda.
thank you. Is this I don't have it in front of me, but this is the last thing in our packet, correct? That you have some revisions to?
No, actually, that was a parks usage policy that this group had
Oh, okay.
worked on last year, and it kind of stalled out. the ordinance is only like 2 or 3 pages at the most.
Oh, okay. I'll wait for that then. Thank you. I
Yeah.
apologize. When we get to the,
Well,
one comment when we get to the parks usage plan, then.
yeah, I didn't want to include the ordinance since council has it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And Laurel, we don't have the usage plan on the agenda.
No, and simply because the last thing that was discussed on this was that the committees would meet individually and review the usage policy, and since then, we've only had one committee meet, so
Okay.
I didn't think it was really appropriate to, I didn't think it was really ready yet.
Okay, that's fine. I guess I'm glad that it was brought up to, it was Veronica Valley that had met, right? About it.
Right.
Yes. And
So
that's the other
go ahead, Dave.
That's the other comment on my mind. If I can, I think I can quote John Popa correctly. He, I believe, was seeking a statement within the parks use policy that violation of the parks rules was a violation of specific state law, which would be a misdemeanor, which would have a possible fine of $100 or 90 days in jail. I think what John was interested in is a statement of consequence if you violate the rules.
Sure.
And that goes back to the ordinance because
Correct.
we have to make that something hasn't changed in the last 50 years.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. Yes, Old Settlers has not met, and my question about the usage plan was on Old Settlers, so we will discuss that then at our committee meeting.
Okay, that sounds great. Okay, moving on to the rec plan review that stays on our agenda, just to remind us all to review and read through the rec plan that we just spent a bunch of money on getting revamped, and bring forward any questions or anything. Is there anything anybody has on that?
Yeah, can I bring this up?
Yes.
One of the things that I know we had in Veronica's plan, but it applies to all of us. I thought of one other thing. We need to figure out how to develop volunteer groups for each park. And when I say figure out how, one problem I've seen so far is how do we fit within the county's insurance rules for having people private individuals work on public land. That's one thing I know we said in the Veronica thing, we were going to work on developing a Friends of Veronica. Well, we need volunteer groups. One of the other things that has been in my head to report, Kama Ross from Conservation District has organized 3 workshops or work bees, 3-hour work bees to help take care of all the trees that have been planted at Veronica, the ones that are left. And really, we're doing pretty well with some of the effort we put into plant. Kama has said to me she has a huge list of volunteers for the Conservation District. We need to develop that for our parks as well. I think I said last time I would talk to Chet Janik about this in terms of some legalities and insurance issues. I have failed to do that, but I will get to that. I'll get that done. So we have a place to start on how we pull together volunteer groups.
I think that sounds great. Okay, moving on, public comment again.
If anyone wishes to comment, the number to call is 231-256-8109.
We'll give 30 seconds here to see if anybody calls. Okay, I don't hear any public comment. Any commissioner comments? Nothing from the chair. Motion to adjourn.
Wait.
Oh, go ahead, Ty.
I just wanted to make sure that as a matter of the record, I thank the chair for coming to last night's meeting and representing Parks and Recreation process.
Okay.
I echo. Thank you.
Go ahead, Melinda.
Yes, I echo his comments. Thank you, Casey.
No problem. I was happy to be there. Any other comments? Sorry, I couldn't see you on my phone, Ty. It's just my face looking back at me. Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Bye.
All those opposed? We are adjourned. Thank
Best
you all for
meeting
being there.
Thank you.
Rest of the time.